Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Shuffle Podcast, episode 268. I'm Joe.
I'm Lauren.
Lauren, how the heck are you?
I'm doing thumbs down again.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
actually doing great, not thumbs down. Yeah, it's been an okay week. How have you been?
But all right.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
You might notice I've got two Band-Aids on my middle fingers.
Just use them too much?
No, yeah. I think it's karma for how much I use them.
Happens.
I pinched both of them at the exact same moment opening a window.
Oh!
And
ow.
Gushers.
Oh!
Yeah.
At work or home?
For legal reasons at home.
Oh, heard. Oh.
Yeah.
Dang.
What is it? I don't understand. We need to turn that setting off.
Yeah, we gotta figure out how to fix that.
We'll figure that out for
It's
the next
really funny,
episode.
though. It's
but
kinda silly.
it's already happened so many times just today alone.
Yeah, just trying to set
But
everything
yeah,
up.
so I pinched my fingers, and I mean it's
Ouch.
like the original Gushers from the 90s when they used
Sure.
to have juice in them.
Sure.
And I mean my just
all over.
well, I
like
wouldn't
zombie
say
splatter.
it wasn't that bad.
Oh, well,
But it was like I had to hold my hands like this to
cup
stop it
it.
from going everywhere.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I was wearing a
behavior.
white shirt,
Naturally.
similar to now. So
Naturally.
luckily I did not get any on.
Oh, that's good.
I got very lucky.
That helps.
So I just wrapped those puppies in a towel, put some Band-Aids on there, and
that was today.
that was today, yeah.
Ouch. And with the rain, that like the Band-Aids don't stay on us. I kind
Yeah.
of stopped raining, but
Yeah, it did. Yeah. It was very wet.
speaking of rain, it's
Wet
snowing in northern Florida.
Yeah.
Which is
Snow in a lot of places.
weird.
Yeah.
Very weird. I was not prepared. My school's like campus shut down.
Really?
For tomorrow.
Wow.
For a half day tomorrow so
Yeah,
far
yeah.
because they're afraid roads will ice over. I
Yeah.
was like,
Have you noticed?
For
Now
why?
you're on the younger side, but
no.
do you remember as a
like
kid?
3.
Well, actually, I don't know if you know this as a kid because like it probably didn't snow as much by you as a kid as it did by me. But
I had snow.
we used to have to like wake up in the morning
At like 6 a.m. and watch the TV
and watch the news
and see if you saw your
little
school on the
scroll.
bus. Yeah,
Keep your fingers off the screen.
that was you.
It's
Okay,
coming from
that
you.
that might have been me. But yeah, we would sit. I'd wake up super early and start watching
Yeah.
and waiting to see, or even at night, I'd have like mom and dad. You have to keep the news on. We have to see if
Yeah.
school's canceled a night before. So
Oh,
I
see,
can sleep in.
when I was a kid, it was never canceled the night before. Like that just wasn't a thing.
Really?
Yeah. And so we would have to wake up the morning of and find out if school was closed because for
Damn.
us, right, being up north,
You guys are
it
used
snows
to it.
so much.
Yeah.
Nowadays,
That's true.
like yesterday, my friend from back home Snapchatted me, and she's a teacher,
Mhm.
and she goes, "No school tomorrow at like 8 p.m."
Dang.
It wasn't
They're
even
getting
snowing
soft.
yet.
They're getting soft.
And I'm like, and now it's because, weather technology is getting better and they can predict
Right.
these storms more accurately.
right.
But it's like, where's the fun?
I also think part of that is like a lot of people send their kids far for school these days. They send their kids, they work around the system and send their kids to like better schools and whatnot. And because of that, they have longer commutes. And so they
Maybe.
have to be more considerate of people
Mhm.
further away. Because you know how like sometimes you get really pissed if the county next to you got canceled and you didn't? Even
Yes.
though you might live like literally on the county line. You'd be
Yes.
like, dude. So I think they're kind of having to, because I think so many parents complain about having to like walk their kids to the bus.
Yeah, maybe,
And it'd be
maybe.
dangerous. I don't really know. But my school would cancel so fast. My like
Mine
area,
never
my
did.
county was
Especially when I
so-
went to Catholic school,
Oof.
all of them would close.
Not-
St. Bernard's is
Y'all
open.
Y'all gotta trudge.
Thanks a lot, St.
Trudge,
Bernard's.
Walk to school.
It was
Back in
awful.
your day, you had to walk
Okay, it
miles
wasn't that
in
bad.
the snow.
No, my parents would drive us to school.
That's nice.
We were
My-
those kids that like, because my parents worked, or my dad worked so early,
Mhm.
he was always not always the one, but he typically drove us to school.
Mhm.
And because he worked so early, we would get there like the first ones there. We were
Yeah.
always the first kids at school, and it was like, God,
That's-
we're those losers.
That's rough. What do you do? Just sit in the hallway? and, like,
Yeah,
kinda
we'd
wanna
like sit in like the cafeteria and just kind of hang out.
Dweebs.
All the little like all like the
Dweebs.
lunch ladies
New-
who were also like the local church women just
Yep.
like knew us because like my mom worked for the school. My
Mhm.
mom helped run that thing.
Sure.
My friend's mom was the secretary. Like, you
I
know,
gotcha. I
Sister
gotcha.
Frederica was our principal. Yes, shout out Sister Frederica.
Sister.
Um,
We had very different schooling
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah. That was my school from pre-K to 5th grade.
Holy shit.
And then 6th grade to 8th grade, because St. Bernard's closed when I was in the 5th grade. So from 6th grade to 8th grade, I went to 14 Holy Helpers as my school. Big church boy, this guy.
Couldn't be me.
Yeah, I didn't want it to be me,
Mm.
but here we are. But yeah, went to Catholic school. My principal at my second
Principal.
school.
Your principal.
Yeah, my principal at my second school at 14 Holy Helpers. His name was
What kind of
Mr.
name is-
Duttweiler.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
That's a name.
I will
That's a name
say
you make
we
fun
as
of.
kids we all hated him.
Yeah, most
Yeah.
people do.
Yeah. We hated his guts. And I don't think we had a reason.
This is what, middle school or high
This was 6th to 8th grade. Yeah.
middle.
So middle
okay,
school.
okay.
We all hated him, but to this day, I think I owe that man my thanks
Really?
because
It made you the man you are today?
No, God no.
Oh.
Mr. Duttweiler didn't do anything for me except for this. He allowed me to pass Spanish in the 8th grade so that I didn't have to take it in high school
Wow.
because I just needed a 65. So in a Catholic school, passing grade was 70.
Oh, damn.
And I got a 64 on the final exam in Spanish because look at the color of my skin.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know Spanish to save my goddamn
Be
life.
better.
Yeah.
Learn.
And so I needed to get a 65 for my high school because public school 65 is passing. And so I got a 64, and I don't know if my Spanish teacher talked to him. I don't know if my mom talked to him. I don't know if my high school talked to him. I don't know what the situation was, but he convinced my Spanish teacher to find an extra point in there for me
That's
and
crazy.
give me a 65 so I
That's
never had to take Spanish again.
Crazy.
And then when I got to college, I
Cheater.
took French
Cheater. Why'd you continue?
because I had to take a language in college.
Interesting.
Uh,
Oh, that sucks.
And it was for one semester. It was just that language credit. I had to do it. Unless you take 4 years of Spanish or a language in high school.
I already did. Yeah, you're
Exactly.
Right. Okay, I did that in high school.
So I did nothing in high school, so I had to take it in college. But I, one semester of French, learned so much more French than I ever did Spanish.
Really?
Yeah.
Ugh, I wish I
did a
knew
really good job.
language.
So much so that by the end of it, my French teacher was like, you should join my next semester's class so you can join us on a trip to France.
Wow. Yeah.
And I was
Did
like,
you go?
that sounds awesome,
No.
but I can't. There's no room in my schedule for
I
it.
took a class on dinosaurs in college.
Where was that class?
We had a Harry Potter class at my school.
Okay, what did you go to art school?
And I went to Virginia Tech and went to art school at Virginia Tech.
Harry Potter, please.
It was all like senior extra electives where you just kind of needed to fill in things. So I
Yeah.
took a mythology class as one of my
That's awesome.
as one of my history credits. Yeah, and I kept that textbook. I brought it down here, and I was
Yeah.
actually reading it the other day because myths are cool.
Yeah.
Um,
I took an English class my freshman an English
whoa,
class
whoa,
my
whoa.
freshman year of college.
Sure.
And it was like a writing class.
Mm-hmm.
But our professor she had a degree in film. And so all we did was like watch a bunch of
Watch
movies,
That's
or
great.
like snippets of TV shows, and then we would like write our own stories based off like the topic or the genre that we were watching that week. And so that was a lot of fun because I love writing.
Yeah, that's
And
nice.
so if I didn't have to write stupid shit, then
Sure.
by all means,
Sure.
I had to like do a remake of like a what are those called? Like an the one I did was Three Little Pigs, like a
Oh,
remake
okay.
of that. What is that kind of story called?
like
a folk
yeah.
tale, folklore. It's not. I don't know. That's Taylor Swift.
Folklore.
One of those
like
stories.
a nursery rhyme,
Yeah, kind of.
kind of,
Yeah,
or like Grimm's fairy tale.
Yeah, I had to do a remake of I think it was a fairy tale, is what
Yeah.
she said initially. Either way, I chose Three Little Pigs, but from the point of view of the wolf,
Okay.
where he was just like trying to get help, but these pigs were fucking pieces of garbage
Sure.
and wouldn't help him and just kept turning him away and being just the worst people in the world.
Yeah.
And he didn't blow their house down. Something else did. I don't remember
so
exactly.
It just bad coincidence.
Yeah,
that
it
right
was
after
terrible
he'd ask him
coincidence.
for
Yeah.
sugar.
Yeah.
Something would happen.
Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting.
It was fun to write because
Do you
it's
ever
like,
do you ever
new
feel
take on
very
it.
like random on a random day? Be like, I could write a book.
Never.
Really?
No.
I,
Maybe as a kid because I wrote like stories as a
Sure,
kid, but like today
sure.
I could write a book. Me?
I sit and
I can barely read a book.
fully- okay, there's that. I fully believe I could sit down and write a book, and then I I zoom out of myself again and realize that's fucking insane behavior. I
Yeah.
don't know
Are
how
you
to
on
write
medication?
a book. No,
You probably should be. If you're
nah.
zooming out of yourself,
No, it's like
maybe you're already on medication that you don't even know you're taking.
that's crazy. Anyways, did I take my meds today?
Yeah.
But
I'm not even here right now.
who?
This is
It's
your
just me
This is your
talking.
podcast, and it has been for the past 5 years.
Anyways, what were we talking about?
Writing a book.
Sometimes I'm like, I feel so confident, and then I remember how much goes into writing a book, and then I stop and realize
Yeah.
that's absurd behavior. But I think it's interesting how some people are like, that's not something you really learn
So how to write a book?
how to do.
No, it's not. You just
you learn
you learn how to write.
how to write, but even then, like, you have an editor to do the grammar and stuff, so
Yeah.
you just word vomit
Yeah.
for like, you know.
And then you're like, here, read this.
Yeah.
And somebody's like, okay, it makes sense here,
Right.
but then that doesn't make sense anymore, and you're like, oh, okay.
Right. I find it fascinating.
Yeah.
I find it crazy, but anywho.
Yeah. So the things that we actually wanted to talk about.
Spiraling. We went from
Um,
preschool to
Yeah, I've got one really long story and one that I think we're both going to talk about. So which would
Mhm.
you rather hear first?
Tell me your story.
My long story.
Yeah. Make
So,
me feel less like
let
I'm
me
going crazy.
let me set the setting.
Set the setting.
Set the
Not
setting.
the scene, the setting.
Yeah, because it's not a scene.
Oh.
It's a setting.
Whoa.
My house,
Sure.
January 17th.
Yep.
2025, the year of our Lord,
This
2025.
this house or house up
the
high-
house I'm
north?
currently living in.
Okay.
We rent it.
Yep.
As this is well-known fact.
Oh, no.
And
I don't like that you had to point that out. I'm
yeah,
scared.
On January 17th, we noticed that there was a little bit of water on our kitchen floor. And we're like, what's that? And this was after we had noticed it like the day before too. And we're like, why does water just keep collecting right here?
Yeah.
And we opened up the cabinet under the sink and noticed a little tiny like drip from a pipe. It's like not even a drip. It's like just like water like barely trickling down the side of this pipe. But it was enough and consistent enough to like leak into the cabinet, and like you could see like a little bit of water damage on the cabinet
Right.
and underneath the cabinet to get on the floor and make the floor wet.
Right.
And so we call in, like our leasing company has like a maintenance portal that you can go on and submit a work order, get somebody out to the house. Very common with leasing companies.
Yep.
So we do that. Portal was giving us some issues, so we just call. We go, hey, found a leak. Got to come out and fix that.
Mhm.
And they go, cool, earliest appointment is the 27th. So we're like, 10 days, really?
That's crazy.
And they're like, yeah, that's the earliest we can get somebody out to you. And we're like, I mean, all right, if that's the earliest, like we'll just
Yeah.
keep drying it up. We'll do our best to like put a towel around
Contain.
it, contain the leak, do anything we can. It's not like in a place we could put a bucket or anything.
Right.
So we just had to do the best we could. And so that was good enough for us. Fast forward 2 days. So January
Now we're on the
19th, the year of our Lord 2025. And so I
Oh my
am
God.
on my lunch at work, and I get a text from Riley's mom. And she goes, let me just read it to you because it's really just like my favorite sequence of events.
Oh dear God.
She goes, 12:14 p.m. Sunday afternoon.
Thank you for all the context.
Hey, a pipe burst in the house. Tyler is all alone trying to deal with it. Tyler is Riley's sister. So, hey, a pipe burst in the house. Tyler is all alone trying to deal with it. I said, under the kitchen sink? She goes, yes. The water is spraying all over the entire house. The floor is flooding into the garage. I said, oh, God.
Oh God.
Because, so, like, I knew about the leak.
No.
And now here I'm thinking, surely we are over dramatizing it.
Right.
Like this is probably not as bad. It's probably like leaking, maybe a little bit more than it was.
Right, but it's like it's starting.
Is
to
it really
pool.
spraying? Is it really flooding? Come on, like I know the leak that is happening. We got a work order in. Don't worry about it. Her boyfriend, who also lives with us, just left, so he's not there to help. So I said, I don't know if there's a shut-off valve under the sink, and I have no clue where the main water shut-off is.
Yeah.
So now at this point I'm like, this is probably pretty bad, right? Like if we're talking about water shut off valves and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And flooding. She texted back. She got a neighbor to find the cutoff, luckily, but the entire ground floor is flooded and needs to be mopped up before further damage. Bathroom, laundry, kitchen, all flooded.
Oh
And
my God.
so at this point, that's 12:17. That was a 3-minute conversation. And what is it? Is it from your mom? She texted Riley and just, your house is flooded, 2 exclamation points.
Hey, your house is
yeah.
flooded.
And so I'm like, okay, well, Riley's at work. Why am I being contacted, first of all?
Right.
And so I'm like, let me go find Riley. And so I go in, find Riley, and I'm like, and she's already on the phone with her mom. And I'm like, perfect. We already got this.
Right.
I am like, talking to one of the other coordinators, and I'm like, so my house is flooding right now. There's a pipe burst. Don't know what we're gonna do.
Right.
And she was like, well, if you need to leave early, like, I think we can make it work.
Yeah.
I was an opener that day. I'm not really that important
Sure.
afternoon, so I was like, yeah, all right, I'll see what we have to do. I don't really want to leave early because it was the day before a holiday. I'm getting holiday pay, and so I don't really want to leave early.
Stay.
And so,
But your house is currently
and so
floating.
Riley calls her sister and gets some more information. Find out it's really freaking bad.
Oh my God.
My favorite part of this story is, before we start getting to the part that makes me angry, my favorite part of the story is Riley asked her sister, how much water is there? And her sister goes, it's up to my feet. Yeah, so right, like your initial reaction is, oh my God. And then you go, wait a
minute.
second.
That's literally
your
a
feet
puddle.
are on the ground.
Up to your feet is a puddle, babes.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, well, is that bad? Is that like ankle deep? Is it like bottom of the sole deep?
Right. What
I
part
may,
of the foot?
yeah, I may never know the answer to that question because by the time we got home, a lot of the water had been squeegeed out of the house.
Sure.
Yeah.
God,
So yeah, so we
Shit,
like
up to
burst,
my feet.
we like bust into the manager's office and we're like, hey, this is what happened. We may have to leave.
Right.
And our manager's like, yeah, like figure it out. If there's somebody to cover the rest of my shift, there's somebody to cover the rest of her shift, we're good to go.
Yeah.
Cool. We get that figured out. We go back in there. We say, hey, we're leaving early. See you never. And so at 12:31, we clock out. On our walk out to the car, it is raining and it's not fun. And Riley calls the emergency maintenance hotline for our leasing company, which I will leave nameless if I can control myself today. She calls the maintenance hotline and says, "This is what's happened. We called for leaking pipe 2 days ago, and now that pipe is burst, we need a plumber to come on out."
Yeah.
And so they go, "Okay, we're gonna update the work order that's already in as like urgent or whatever they said." And so we're like, "All right, sounds good." And they said somebody will be in contact with you, and we're like, "All right, awesome."
Perfect.
So we start heading back to the house. I call my mom, tell her the situation. And I go, no, I'm going to be honest. I'm not super confident that these people are going to get anybody out to us because they're making us wait 10 days just for a leak anyways.
Right.
So like what makes us think that they're going to get anybody out?
Going to be much better.
Exactly. And so my mom's like, well, give them like 45 minutes to an hour and then give them a call back if you haven't heard anything. And so we get back to the house. We start cleaning everything up, trying to dry everything up. There's water everywhere. I mean everywhere. Like luckily our house, like our kitchen is angled away from the living room.
Oh, that's good. So most of it was going towards the pool
it was
doors.
all going towards like the pool, the bathroom, the laundry room, and the garage.
Okay.
Not going into the living room where we have a carpet.
Right.
Or a rug at least. And so I was like, thank God it's all going that way because there's less damageable stuff in the kitchen, arguably, except for the cabinets, which are very much water damaged. So a little bit over an hour goes by, probably a couple hours go by. We haven't heard anything. And so Riley calls back and is a little bit more aggressive this time.
Yeah.
But speaking honestly, and as if she were not here, wasn't aggressive enough for my liking.
Valid. I think that's valid. They fucked up your house.
Yeah, sure. And so like now, understandably, anybody that knows Riley, you know her, she's not an aggressive person.
This is true.
I would argue I'm also not an aggressive person.
For sure.
Yeah.
But in this scenario, you gotta put on some big boy panties and yell.
And so Riley calls. They say whatever they say, and we're kind of sitting there waiting again. And I'm like, trying to figure this out. Our neighbor, who's a plumber who managed to turn off our water for us, gave us his business card and said, if you guys need help, give me a call. And I was like, well, let's just do that. But then we're all like, well, can we do that? yada, 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 yada. We're trying to like figure out a plan here. Do we need to stay in a hotel? We've turned off the water. We've got no water in our house. Our house is flooded. We're trying to dry this all up. We're trying to clean everything up. What's going on? And so
This is all on Sunday?
this is all on Sunday.
Okay.
And so I am now the next person to call the maintenance hotline. And I explain the situation. And I say, we need somebody to the house today. It is extremely urgent. We have no water in our house anymore. We cannot use any appliance. We cannot use the shower, the bathroom, the laundry. We cannot pour ourselves a drink. We cannot give
Right.
our pets a drink. We cannot do anything.
Right.
And we have nowhere to go. And I'm a little bit more aggressive with them.
Sure.
And so they tell me that they're going to put my work order at the highest priority. And so what they do is they delete the previous work order, the one that we set on the 17th, and they put it back in as highest priority. And they're like, this will make sure that it gets taken care of first. It is our highest priority. And I go, okay, do you have a time frame for me? And they go, somebody will be in contact very shortly with you. I go, okay, but is that today? Is that in a couple hours? What is very shortly?
Right.
And they go, we don't have an exact time frame, but somebody will be in contact very shortly. And so I go, okay, thank you. And so I give them another hour. Still no contact. I call them back. It's probably around 4-ish in the afternoon.
We're getting close to like closing hours.
Yeah. And so, and it's on a weekend, right? And so we can't call just like our local office
Right.
because they're closed.
Right.
It's a weekend before a holiday, I might add.
Right.
And so I call them back. I complain a little bit louder this time. And they say your thing is at the highest priority. We've put all the notes in. Somebody will be in contact very, very shortly. I assure you it will be very, very shortly. And I go, I need to know that will be today.
Yeah.
And they said, all I can tell you is that it'll be very, very shortly. And so I said, okay, sounds fine to me. So at this point, I'm like watching a football game. And I'm like, I'm not really dealing with it anymore. I'm going to wait for their call. Well, I think at one point I had ended up calling. I think I called 3 times that day. And then around 6:30 or 7, I'm talking to my mom. My mom calls them because now again I've been pretty aggressive to this point. My mom's like, she goes, "Do you want me to call them?" I go, "Honestly, go right ahead."
Yeah.
I usually don't let my mother fight my battles anymore. I'm 28 years old, but I go, "Ma, go ahead."
Go ahead.
Because I know
She'll
when my
get
mom,
shit done.
yeah, when my mom wants something done her way, she's gonna get it done.
Yep.
And so she calls them, and she gives them the whole shebang.
The Sharky best.
Yeah, and makes up some story that she's staying with us, so this is affecting her as well, which is why she's calling, as opposed to she's just my mommy helping me.
I am so far away, but I don't care.
Yeah, and so they tell her the same thing. Your work order's at the highest priority. Somebody will be in contact with your son very, very shortly. And so I'm like, all right. Well, the whole night goes by. I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning because I work at 6 a.m. Monday morning.
Yeah.
I wake up, never got contacted.
No voice
I have
call.
to go to my friend's house to shower. Luckily, she's on the way to work, so I get to her house at 5 a.m., shower, leave 15 minutes later, go to work. On my lunch, I'm like, I'm calling them back. So I call the maintenance hotline, and I get very angry at this woman who answers the phone. And I told her, I go, I just want you to know, I apologize for what I'm about to say to you, because I know this is not directly your fault.
It's just,
I go, just be prepared.
Yeah.
And so I go, this is what's happening. I need somebody to come out to the house today. This is unacceptable, blah, blah, blah. And I'm talking much more aggressive than I'm talking right now. But so she puts me on hold, and she comes back and she goes, blah, 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 same thing. And I go, okay, this is unacceptable. I go, I will not accept very shortly anymore. I need to know that somebody's coming out today. I don't know if I need to speak to a supervisor. I don't know what this needs to be.
Yeah.
She goes, would you like to speak to a supervisor? I go, whatever works best for you to get me what I need done today.
Yeah.
If that's a supervisor, if that's me and you talking it out a little bit longer and figuring out a solution, I go, I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
And so she gets a supervisor, Jerome, my boy Jerome came on the phone, and he was like, hi, my name is Jerome. I've been told about your situation. What can I do to help you? I go, all right, here's what's going on. I'm going to tell you the situation. I go, I need somebody out there today. And so he looks at my work order, and he goes, so it looks like while they put your work order at the highest priority, they're only doing it internally. So they have this company has their internal handyman that they try and use because it's probably a lot cheaper for them to do it in-house than asking somebody else to come and do it. Totally understand. I get that. But in my scenario,
You
I
need-
can't count on handyman Jim to
Right.
come out on a weekend and a holiday to take care of my
Right.
shiz.
Right.
Yeah. So he goes, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it out to a third party vendor and try and get them to take care of it. And I was like, okay, am I going to get somebody out there today? He was like, so I can't tell you when they're going to come out. All I can tell you is that the third party vendor will be in contact. I'm like, I'm not hanging up.
Ah!
I'm not hanging up the phone until I know somebody's coming out today. So what does that mean?
Yeah.
He goes, so let me tell you how this works. And that's when he explained to me that they use their internal services as much as they can, but sometimes they have to reach out to third party. He goes, so what we do is we release it to all of our third party vendors. Anybody that wants it can pick it up. He goes, but we have to wait for them to pick it up, and they will be the ones who contact you. You will get a message. And I go, okay, so I just have to wait for them to pick it up. And that could be today, it could not be today. He goes,
Right.
that is correct. And I go, okay, thank you very much, Jerome. Hang up the phone. I leave that day at 2:45. I knew that this was so that phone call happened at 10 a.m. I knew that I wasn't going to be contacted by 2:45. I
Right.
kept checking my phone, never got contacted. So at 2:45, I leave work. I run to costuming to grab a new change of clothes because I can't do laundry.
Right.
And I call my mom and I go, hey, here's what's going on. Listen to this ridiculousness.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, give him a call back. Let him know. And so at 3:39, I call them back. And I am about to get very, very angry. And the woman goes, well, let me take a look at your work order. And she goes, actually, it looks like a third-party vendor is on their way out to you right now. And I'm looking at the portal, and I don't see that. And I'm like,
Right.
what are you seeing? And I hit refresh. As of 3:41, 2 minutes after I started this phone call, it updated to a vendor has picked it up and is on their way out and will be there at 4:45. And so I'm like
Sure.
on my way home, like, all right, perfect, I'll be there.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets there at 4:45 in the afternoon yesterday, Martin Luther King Day.
Yes.
And he comes in, he checks it out. He goes, all right, pretty simple fix. I just got to run and grab a part and submit the proposal for them to approve the work and the payment. And I'm like, awesome. Something, and this will be done in an hour or two.
Right.
He goes out to the store, doesn't come back for like an hour. And so I'm getting a little bit nervous near the end of this hour because I'm like, is he just going to bail on us?
Yeah.
But he comes back.
Huh?
And he comes in and he goes, they denied the proposal. And Riley and I are like, what do you mean they
What?
denied
How
the
did they
proposal? He
deny
goes,
it?
I submitted the proposal and they denied it because he told them it was going to be this price. It was going to be $500 some odd for the
Yeah.
work. And they tried to say what happened to the regular price of $425 that he usually charges them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yesterday, once again, was a holiday.
So he was asking
And
for holiday
he was
pay.
there after hours because by this point it's almost 6 p.m.
Oh my God.
And so he's working after hours on a holiday.
yeah.
He needs some overtime and some holiday pay,
Yeah.
which is only like $100 and some odd dollars
Wasn't even that
more.
much more. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, which we ended up finding out later that just for him coming out, they have to contractually pay him $150. And so if they then want to pay the $425 for him to come out on a regular business day and do that work on regular money, it would end up costing them the $425 plus the $150 that he already came out for, which was more than he was quoting them.
Wow.
So they're willing to pay more to do it on 2 separate visits. But they were trying to haggle. So I call them back and I go off on this
Yeah.
girl. And I go, this is, and excuse my language, everyone, this is fucking bullshit that you are trying to haggle this gentleman
Yeah.
and wasting his time and my time.
Right.
And I have to call you back again. I go, get your supervisor on the line right now and get this approved. This is ridiculous and unacceptable.
Right.
And you can really start to hear my tone of voice
yeah,
change.
you're getting amped.
Oh, I was getting heated. And so they say, okay, we need him. At this point, he's talking to both of us because he left. And I went out and I go, how much is it going to cost? That's when he told me it's going to be about $500. And I was like, if we pay you, can we just do it that way? And he goes, I can't guarantee that they're going to give you your money though if you pay me. Like they may not give you a refund or
Just pay you
Yeah.
for the job.
And so I was like, yeah, I guess that's a good point. Like you can't, the reimbursement, you don't know that they're going to reimburse me for the payment. And so that's when he was sitting in our driveway talking to the same woman I'm talking to. And she goes, okay, he just needs to resubmit the proposal and tell them that he's firm on the price. And then we'll approve it. And I go, okay. So he does that. He resubmits the proposal, says he's firm at 5, whatever. And they still are trying to haggle him. They still are trying to get them down to 425, and they're like, well, if you just leave it for another day, will the tenant be without water? And I'm like, and I'm still on the phone. I go, yes, I will be without water.
We've been without
I go,
water.
What are you talking about? You absolute batshit crazy people.
That's crazy.
And so he resubmits. They're like, okay, we just need to review it, and we will blah, 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 blah. And so I hang up with this woman. It's still taking forever to get approved. And so I call back again. Different guy answers the phone. I start freaking out on this guy. He goes, let me try and figure it out, blah, 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 blah. We go through a whole process again. Still nothing's getting done. He goes, is there anything else I can help you with? They said that they just needed him to submit like some clarification or another picture or something. And so he says, is there anything else I can help you with? I go, I really hope not, because if I have to call back again, it is going to be a hell of a lot worse than how I'm talking to you right now.
Right.
And I bet you can guess what happens next. I had to call back again because they kept trying to haggle him on it.
Right.
They weren't agreeing to his price. They weren't agreeing to his terms, even though they said, if you say you're firm, we'll agree to it.
Right.
And I'm reading the messages that he's sending to them. He's like reading them off to me.
Right.
And they don't do it. So he like walks out of the house, and I'm like, where's he going? And Riley's like, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
He like is in his, like, he goes into the trunk of his truck, the bed of his truck. He pulls out some stuff. He comes back in, and I can see he's got pipe cutters and a cap for a pipe. And so he goes in there. He like immediately like cuts the pipe open, caps it, stops the, like, if we were to turn the water back on, the thing wouldn't be spraying anymore.
Right.
Not the fix we requested though. And
he just stopped the pipe. He didn't fix the pipe.
He goes, so I've put a cap on it so you can it's a temporary fix. You can turn your water on for now. And he goes, I'm done dealing with it. I'm out. And I go, I don't blame you. He's been there for 3 hours.
Yeah.
He said it could have taken him 10 minutes to fix it.
Are they going to pay him for that 3 hours? Or just the 150?
Probably not. They're probably not going to pay him for that 3 hours.
Fucked.
He didn't have to cap it.
Yeah.
That is not something they asked him to do.
Yeah.
He did that out of the kindness of his own heart. And thank God.
Because I'm sure he's mad too, because he probably wants to get fucking paid. He drove all that way out there, and he was
he's
okay
not
with doing
from Orlando.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And so he had to drive a distance. And so I am beyond pissed. So sure enough, as soon as he walks out and says, I'm done, and I said, I don't blame you, I'm like kind of just dumbfounded there. I'm just sitting there in shock, ready to just like lose my mind.
Yeah.
I call him back, and this guy, Brian, answers the phone. And I go, Brian, I'm going to tell you right now, I apologize for how much I'm about to scream at you, but you're just a sad piece of shit that answered the phone. I didn't say sad piece of shit. I'm saying that now, but I just go, I said, you're the unfortunate person that answered the phone.
Yeah.
And I lost it.
Oh my God.
And I said, I don't know if I need a supervisor. I don't know if you need to connect me to your internal services. I don't know who I need. I don't know if I need the CEO of this company. But this needs to be figured out right now. The guy was still in our driveway, by the way. So I was like, if you figure this out now, he might come back inside.
Yeah.
And oh my God, Brian couldn't figure it out. So he connects me to a supervisor, Leah.
This is crazy.
I freak out on Leah. For like a good 2 minutes, I'm yelling at her.
Yeah.
And saying she needs to figure this out. This needs to be approved. This needs to be done, blah, 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 blah. And her response, I could have reached through the phone and punched her. I finish my rant, which was justified, by the way.
Yeah.
If I was just freaking out first phone call, what she said would have been justified, but my rant was justified. She goes, can I speak now? And I was like, I almost said, you fucking bitch.
Wow. That's like literally just like you're on fire, and she's just like, let me just pour a little more gasoline. She's like, I just don't think it's enough.
Oh,
wow.
My God. It took every ounce of my being.
Leah's like, give me the phone.
Yeah.
Let me deal with this man.
It took every ounce of my being not to immediately go, fuck you, and hang up the phone.
Customer service.
Yeah. After I'd been calling for 2 days, 2 whole days.
Oh, but even like your thing's been in for 4 days.
Yeah.
Your original.
Yep. The original work order. Yeah. The leak in the pipe. And so I spoke with Leah for like another 20 minutes. She called the vendor, and all she wanted to know, and it seems like all internal services want to know, is if he comes back another day, will we still have water tonight, or will we still be without water? Because that may change their decision. And he had already told them they will be without water if I leave. Wow. Like if I don't cap the pipe, and that's what I ended up doing. So she called him, because we were unsure. Like, I know he capped it. I know that should stop it, but we didn't test it. He wasn't there for us to test it. I don't know if it's going to be working. And so she calls him, and she comes back on. She goes, Joseph, I got some very good news for you. She goes, you can turn the water back on with the cap on the pipe. You just can't use any of the water in your kitchen. And so you can still use the bathroom. You can still use the shower. You can still blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, I guess we'll test that. And so we turn the water on. So again, we have water in our bathrooms.
Sure.
We don't have water in our kitchen. And I called them back today just to see an update. And they said that he just needed to submit one more thing or whatever, some other crap they fed me. But I was so angry last night that we looked up some information about them. And I'm not one to ever like I don't care enough about a business and how they run their operation for me to like report them to anybody. But my mom does. And so my mom has recommended the Better Business Bureau to me 1,000 times for things down here that just don't work how the world should work.
Right.
And so we looked them up on the Better Business Bureau. They are very much not recommended to use for renting a home or even buying a home from because of many reasons. One of them being they have a federal lawsuit against them for $48 million.
Oh, the $1 million. Really?
Yeah.
That's why they were trying to save every fucking penny.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Because of the exact things they've been doing to us. Unnecessary and unannounced fees or unexpected fees on our payment portal.
Wow.
They just toss fees on there for no reason, don't explain it, so we have to call them and try and get them removed. And then this maintenance runaround thing where they never get any work done for days, weeks, sometimes months on end.
Right, and then
there
later...
are Facebook posts full of people talking about how bad this company is and how much they don't get anything done for them. And so I am like, I'm reaching out to them. I'm going to file complaints about to anyone that I can.
Yeah.
So today on my lunch, I call my local office for the leasing company, and I say, I need to know when this is getting figured out.
Right.
They just connect me right back to the maintenance portal. So useless.
Lame.
Then I call the Better Business Bureau, and I leave a message saying, here's my complaint. And they call me back to get more details later.
Wow.
I call the Federal Trade Commission, who started the lawsuit against them. And I said, hi, this is my situation. I know you've got a lawsuit against them. I've got a very similar thing happening to me.
Yeah.
She took all of my information.
Wow.
And then I contacted the FDACS, which is the Florida Department of Agricultural and Consumer Services.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, didn't even know this existed.
You pull out all this stuff.
Yeah, and so what they do is they deal with, like, a lot of landlord leasing agency issues.
Okay.
And... now, all these places, like, make you aware that, like, we will not solve individual issues, but we can take action against the company.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I care about at this point. Like, do I want the issue fixed?
want revenge.
Absolutely. But, yeah, I want this company to burn to the ground.
Yeah, sure.
And so I called all three of these places, filed formal complaints, and I was like, something needs to be done because this is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I think my next step now is my next two steps. One, I'm going to get an inspector out to the house to take a look at all the water damage that has happened from this leak.
Yeah.
Take a look at the broken pipe and tell me how faulty some of my other pipes might be, because all those pipes look very old.
Mm-hmm.
And I want them to tell me it's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can, slap some fines on the company that makes them, get their shit together and come and fix my stuff.
Right.
And then I'm going to call the local office and I'm going to give them hell because they deserve it. Because they were on vacation.
Right.
Or they were on a weekend. So they deserve hell too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been my past 2 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's fucked.
Yeah.
Plus, like, it feels like it's kind of the thing where you guys are like, when you're moving out, they're going to come in and inspect and be like, oh, look at all this water damage.
Yep.
We're going to have to fine you for that for renters. And you're like, that's crazy you say that. It's good to get the inspector out there.
Oh, yeah.
And if you can get proof of your portal
we've got it. We've got it.
Because then you can be like, oh, no.
Yeah, we've got emails about all of it.
This is what we did. Here's XYZ.
It's like the first.
Insane.
This feels like the first like real adult thing that I've done in my life.
Yep.
Which is crazy because I've like purchased a car.
Me as I was building Legos
got my own
before
insurance.
This.
Yeah. I've like done a lot of adult things very recently in my life.
But getting like fucked over.
Yeah,
like that,
making a phone call to the Better Business Bureau. That's a very adult thing to do.
That's some real Karen shit right there.
Yeah, I went full Karen on them.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's I hate that for you.
Yeah.
So currently still waterless.
Currently we have water
in the kitchen.
not in the kitchen. Yeah, waterless in the kitchen.
Okay.
And so like unable to
Fuck,
shower. Thank God.
Yeah, but dishwasher and your fridge water and cooking and cleaning your dishes.
Yeah.
You do it in the
There's just a
sink.
pile of dishes in the sink.
You could do that in the bathroom.
I'd rather not.
Oh, okay.
Small sink.
Sure, don't
You
clean
just do it in the bathtub, maybe.
Yeah, don't clean your dishes. That's fine
Listen,
too.
I at this rate, I'm ready to burn the house down. If I'm being totally honest.
Oh my
For legal
God.
reasons, that's a joke.
That's
but boy, oh boy,
crazy.
am I
That
just.
is crazy.
It's awful.
I am so
It's
sorry
been the worst.
you've been going
It's been the worst 2 days of my entire life.
Damn.
Yeah. So.
Damn.
Yeah.
That was a whole
Adventure.
adventure.
Yeah, and it's not done yet.
I know the fact that it didn't get solved
Mhm.
really hurts me for you.
Mhm.
I'm very curious where this goes.
Oh, I can't wait to see where it goes next. Yeah, I'm super excited to call
and
them
you were
again
able
tomorrow.
to talk to someone for all those places you called, or just leave messages? Or
For the
what?
Better Business Bureau, it was a message. For the other two, it was a physical person.
Damn, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Would you go in person to go complain to any the leasing office?
that's
or
a
anything?
lot.
That's bold.
Yeah.
That's scary.
A phone call scares me enough. Going in person is like that's a lot.
Yeah, being in person. That's what my mom would have done. My mom would be like, just drive.
Oh,
Because
my
that's
mom
what.
too, yeah.
That's the minute I have anything wrong here, and I've had to call in, and they don't show up within an hour. My mom's like, okay, drive to the office. Go see what time they're gonna be. I'm like,
Like,
I'm really scared.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm not that intimidating or loud
Yeah.
or mean either. So I walk in and be like, hey,
Yeah.
just excuse me.
Yep.
What are we looking at here?
Yeah.
Please tell me because I need things done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tomorrow,
tough.
tomorrow's my day off. I'm going to be calling the local office, and I'm going to
Yeah.
be giving them hell and telling them that if I don't get somebody out today, they're gonna take some money off my rent
Yeah.
for the next month, or they're going to, or I'm going to call up my own personal plumber, get it fixed, and they're going to foot the bill.
Right.
Whatever needs to happen.
That's what you probably should say.
Yeah.
Like, hey, if no one's coming out today, then I'm calling
Yeah.
someone else because I know someone else will be available.
Yep.
And you'll pay for it.
Yep.
So it's just all's fair. Done.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we'll
Damn.
see.
Give them a tough ultimatum.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
That's crazy.
It's just been brutal. Absolutely brutal.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah. So, anyways, what's been going on with your life? What do you got to talk about today?
Well, I've also had a really rough 2 days.
Yeah, hit me with it.
TikTok was banned.
That's the other thing I had to talk about, which is why I
figured
saved it.
Yeah. TikTok was banned,
Yeah.
and
This happened Saturday.
Saturday night, because
Saturday
everyone
night.
said it was banned on the 19th.
On the 19th,
and
Sunday.
it stopped working at 8 p.m. on Saturday or something, and the uproar. It was insane.
Wild.
Seeing all the posts on
Yeah.
Instagram, people be like, wait a minute. I was like, that's crazy, because mine kept working for a little bit, and then mine stopped. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
like,
mine was gone
panicking.
by 10:30 or something like that.
Well, I deleted that. And it came back online on Sunday night
Why did you delete the app?
because I was with someone and they don't have TikTok and they were just like, delete it, like it's gone now. And also everyone assumed it was staying gone, It is no longer available in the US in the App Store and you cannot re-download it. So while it is back, for people who deleted it, it's gone. And I have been, which sounds so lame to be complaining about because I also have been mad because I didn't realize how addicted I was to it. It is gone. And even, so I hung out with Matt yesterday.
Yeah.
And he, you know how you can just share an app?
Yeah.
So he shared the app with me. It popped up on my phone. I said accept to download. And it said, sorry, it is not available in your region. You cannot download it. So not even sharing the app where it pulled it up and everything. And I haven't checked today. I just assumed it was a lost cause. But
You know what you need to do if it's not back in the App Store?
it's not in the App Store at all.
Oh
It's
my
like it's
God.
giving Flappy Bird again.
Yeah.
I
That's
feel like I need to
why
jailbreak my phone.
When Vine went away and when
Yes.
Flappy Bird went away, I kept them on my phone until
Listen-
my phone physically deleted them itself.
Right. I was just so it's fine. I knew it was going to get deleted. It's probably going to be whatever. I don't need it.
You're crazy.
And so I deleted it. So I don't have it on my phone anymore.
Oh my God.
And it's
You know what
been-
you need to do?
I've been going
You
on
need to download
Instagram
you need to get a
Reels.
VPN
I know.
and download it
Right.
and then just to delete the VPN.
Right. Well, I saw a lot of people were they not jailbroke their phones, but basically just went into their settings and restarted their phone into Canada, so time zone and everything, and then changed it, like kept changing everything, downloading it, then changing it back, and then it was on their phone again, so it worked. I'm too
Worth it.
lazy.
I'll do it for you.
No, it's insane though. I did not realize how addicted I was. Because that's the other thing.
We had a memorial service at work.
Did you really?
Yeah, on Saturday we had a memorial
That's so
service.
funny. Because everyone was like, we have to scroll as much as we can on Saturday. I've started using Reels just because I need something to do. I know. I hate my life. But I don't know what else to do when I'm casually, like, I didn't realize how much I use that as just like a distraction as I'm casually doing things.
Yeah.
Like eating breakfast. I'm not going to open a book with one hand while I'm trying to eat breakfast.
Did you see my Instagram story?
I don't know if I did.
I took a screenshot of the pop-up on the app that said it is no longer allowed in the U.S.
Yeah.
And I posted it on my story. It said RIP.
Yeah.
And then my next post was USA sucks, moving to Canada with the Canadian flag. Then less than 12 hours later,
shows back
it
up.
was back up. And not less than 12 hours. I think it was less than 24 hours
Yeah, it
later.
wasn't even that much.
And it was back up. And it was like while we were cleaning up the water, I got the notification that it was back.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that's going to be on my story until tonight at like
Yeah.
11 p.m. I look like an idiot now.
You gotta delete it, dude.
But I thought it was so funny to keep
No,
it up there.
It was funny because also everyone immediately said "rip," like,
Oh, yeah.
like we miss it. This is just like Vine, blah blah
Yeah.
blah blah. And so I was just like,
I knew it wasn't going to stay gone.
Oh, I fully thought it was.
I knew.
I thought it was
didn't.
bye-bye.
I didn't think that it was actually going to get like turned off at all.
I
thought
was
they were
surprised
gonna-
it got turned off at all,
Yeah.
and that's why. Because I was like,
Yeah.
but then when it disappeared, I was like, oh,
I
this
think
is real.
them turning it off like forced everybody else's hand
Mm-hmm.
of like, like Biden said that they weren't going to enforce it, but TikTok
Mhm.
wasn't really sure if they were actually telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were like, well, what's Trump going to do? And Trump was like, here's your clarification that they probably already had, but they were like, let's turn it off and make
Right.
people miserable for 12 hours
Right.
and then turn it back on. I think they were just all trying to force each other's hands.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So-
And all the TikToks of like famous TikTokers being like, I know I
Revealing
never
all their-
shared this, but here's like one last thing.
Crazy.
I was like, I'm learning so much. I
Yeah.
was like panicking.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
now all those people are like,
Oh, that's great.
hey.
We're
I'm like, you're
back.
actually dumb. Like, the fact that you thought that this was not going
I-
to leave this app is
Also,
crazy.
yeah, we're going. I don't know. And everyone being like, hey, like, I felt bad for a lot of those content creators because a lot of, I know, like, I don't know how you feel about it, but like, a lot of them got their start on there. I know a lot of podcasts started from there
Oh,
and
yeah.
then made it like a podcast because of the, like
Absolutely,
their
yeah.
content. And a lot of them were just saying like, we don't know where we'll be next. Like, here's my Instagram.
Yeah.
Because there's not really many other platforms similar to TikTok right now.
No, there's
Like
not.
there used to be. Rip Musically.
R.I.P.
That was my shit.
Of course it was, because you're a child.
Okay, but I also loved Vine. I still watch Vine compilations sometimes.
Yeah. But hey,
you can't
now TikTok is back, and it's still a little bit
For some.
wonky. Something's a little off about it.
Yeah, because it's controlled by
Well,
evil people.
Probably, yeah. But like mine's not, everyone's like, it's really blurry now. I'm like, I don't think it is. Maybe you just gotta adjust your TikTok
Vision?
settings. But mine's not blurry. But mine, it's just like my For You page is all out of whack. Like I'm not getting the same videos that I was getting prior to the app going away.
See, I feel like I made the right decision by deleting it.
No,
I
you
feel
didn't.
like you're getting a virus and it's going to take over your mind.
I'm fine with that as long as I have TikTok.
Well, and that's how they get you.
It really was like for those 12, 14 hours, however long it
Weird.
was like the darkest time in recent American history.
Fuck COVID, I guess.
Oh yeah, fuck COVID.
Yeah, I thought
COVID was nothing compared to the
I didn't
banning of
realize
TikTok.
how like dramatic it was gonna be
Oh my god.
with like genuine and like also impacting quite literally almost everybody I know.
Yeah.
Except for my one friend who was like, I don't have TikTok, it doesn't matter. I'm like,
What are you
okay,
trying to
don't
be
get
cool?
It. You don't get it.
Loser.
You don't get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a weird. And again, the 12 hours and then seeing all the posts being like TikTok's back. I'm like, oh boy, go to the App Store and it wasn't back for
I
me
cannot
Sunday night.
believe-
I
Rookie mistake.
threw my phone.
Yeah.
I was pissed.
You never
'cause
delete apps. Never.
I do. I mean,
You know what you got to download now? Red Note.
what is that?
That's like the actual Chinese data stealing app. It's just
Yeah.
like TikTok, but
That's
it's
what
like
I'll get
it's
onto.
all in Chinese.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, that's what
I have it. I downloaded it during the ban.
Why?
I don't know, because I was bored and I was on lunch and I was like, what do I do? Like I usually watch TikToks on my lunch, and so I downloaded Red
Right.
Note and I was watching that,
Wow.
and I was like, it's similar enough, but like also not.
It got to the point where I was searching the App Store for games,
Oh my
like
God.
pulling
You
out
got
like
games on your phone?
Yeah, I was like, do I re-download like Temple Run? Shit, I don't know what to do.
Yo.
I didn't.
Temple Run though?
But I was like, okay, Farmville. Like, do I
Yeah,
need
yeah,
something?
yeah.
I'm obviously addicted to being on my phone, and obviously I need something small and quick just to like mindlessly pass time. So I was like, maybe I should just try and find a new game or something to play, cause I'm bored.
Yeah.
I've been so bored.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And TikTok Reels, they ain't it.
No, I hate being on Instagram so much more now too.
Yeah.
Plus, this is a dumb thing, but I sometimes don't like when people know I'm on my phone, so I don't have like red receipts on, and I hate that, like, and Instagram says like you're active or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was like, I like being on TikTok because it's mindless and they don't
Yeah.
know that
You
you're
know
just
you can
being
change
mindless.
that setting in TikTok or in Instagram, right?
Oh, you can? Oh,
Yeah.
I need to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because now I'm sitting there scrolling. I'm like, ugh, people
Like
are-
everybody knows.
everyone's gonna know. I don't want people to like DM me and then me not respond because I
And
don't
they're
like
like,
them
why didn't you
responding.
answer me? Yeah.
I'm like, that's crazy because I didn't want to. Surprise. Yeah, no, it's been a rough 2 days. On a positive note, though,
Hit me.
football.
Yeah.
Yeah, my team too.
Oh yeah, you're a Commanders fan.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that.
So we could have a pretty big.
We could
play each other in the
Super
Super Bowl.
in the Super Bowl.
In the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the Bills.
Good fucking
the-
luck with your referees.
The entire country is rooting for the Bills.
Yeah, you have everybody on
The
your side.
fans that we have gained in a couple of days
Yeah.
is wild.
I genuinely
like unless you're
I hope-
from Kansas City, you are not a Chiefs fan this weekend.
I hope for the love of God you guys can beat them,
Yeah.
because when we beat the Eagles, I really don't want to play the Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
I
Us
don't-
Commanders have been through it.
Yeah,
Like
the Chiefs going to another Super Bowl. To be honest, I don't even know that I could watch it.
No, I
Like-
will, because again, I like both Eagles and
Oh,
the
okay.
Commanders. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want to see that game regardless. But I would really like to be against the Bills. I really just don't want
Yeah.
the Chiefs to beat us. I don't. If we lose to you guys,
Whatever.
deserve
yeah.
it. Good for y'all.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
great. But if we have to go and deal with the stupid Chiefs, I'm just gonna be like, and I don't even like hate the Chiefs that much. It's just more of the fact that like give somebody else a chance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm sick of it.
I'm a Taylor Swift fan, so I'm not the person who's like, man, it's all the famous and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't care. Let them live. It's the fact that like I just like other teams getting a fucking chance.
Yeah, I'm sick of it. And I know like people said this back in the 90s about the Bills going 4 times in a row, but like the Bills also lost all those games. So it's not like we were like winning.
Right.
It was losing.
you were
losing.
getting there and you just couldn't.
Yeah. And so like in this case, it's like I don't know that it would bother me as much the Chiefs going to the Super Bowl 3 times in a row if they had lost any of them.
Right.
But they haven't.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree.
And it's very annoying because Patrick Mahomes is quite possibly the most annoying human being to ever walk the face of this planet. And his stupid little posse of referees.
Yeah, it's the
Oh.
referees.
If
It's
you're a
definitely
Kansas City
problem.
fan watching this podcast, I'm not sorry.
We're excited for
yeah,
you to have an
your
opportunity
team
to
is,
go to
I
the Super
guarantee
Bowl. However,
I guarantee that in the future, in a few years, it's going to come to light that just like Tom Brady back on the
Deflategate.
Patriots, just like Deflategate, the Chiefs have been cheating somewhere along the way. I guarantee that something will come to light in the future.
I doubt that they're necessarily cheating, but I think everybody wants like the like perfect like outcome for the Chiefs just because of all the fame and stuff that circulates them. But no
I
one
don't know.
actually wants that.
Yeah.
No one needs
I
that.
think
It's okay.
I think there's something nefarious going on behind the scenes.
Mhm.
And now, to a lot of people's points, and to not sound like a complete crazy person, it is much harder to cheat in the NFL now than it was back when Tom Brady was deflating
Right.
footballs. But that doesn't mean it's impossible.
Right.
We have to realize that like this game is still determined by like 4 dudes that are old and we can't trust their eyeballs.
Right. Right.
So like it's a little bit easy to sway some things. Maybe.
Sure.
Everybody's biased. Everybody in the world, you're a human.
Right.
You have opinions. You
Right.
have a bias, and that's just how the world works.
Right.
And so for anybody that thinks that you can't possibly be biased and it's not just football, it's any referee in any sport. You are, no matter what, going to have a bias.
Yeah.
If one team, let's say, so here's a perfect example, right? Chiefs Bills, I think last year in the playoffs, if I remember correctly, a lot of snow at the stadium. Might not have been in the playoffs last year. Regardless, there was a game in Buffalo.
Yep.
There was a lot of snow. And we have a tradition here up in Buffalo. We have a tradition, not a safe one, but a tradition of when something good or bad happens, but a lot more bad during a game, we will throw snowballs at the field.
Yeah.
Typically in the direction of the refs.
Sure.
Now, the snow that's usually left over by the time the game has started and they've plowed the fields is a little icy.
Icy.
And so it could cause damage.
Yeah.
It could cause injury. And so, like, we got in trouble. Like, the fans got in trouble. And they basically said, like, if this continues, we will penalize the team. And so right there is a prime example of, like, a bias into officiating, right? Like, yes, the fans can affect it, and they have before, but it's like, if I'm a ref and I'm refereeing two teams that I don't care about, but one team is treating me like garbage and the other team is not, I'll bet you any money some of my calls go in the direction of the team that's not treating me like garbage, and a few of my other calls maybe don't. And that's just being a human,
right?
And so you can't take that out of a referee just because they're a referee and they go to training for it and they get fined for making a bad call. You think the fine matters? They're making millions of dollars, millions of dollars, and they can do whatever they want and say whatever they want, and the fine's going to cost them a few $1,000, pocket change. Do I think there's an actual conspiracy going on? Only a little bit.
Yeah. I don't want to like just blame it all on the whole like ref situation, but I do agree. It's just kind of like I don't
it's
know.
A little convenient.
There's
some of the calls that happen.
Consistency here.
I do think that with a lot of the calls this year and how many of them have been so bad, similar to when the Bills-Chiefs game that went into overtime a few years back, and the Bills never even got to touch the ball.
Dang.
They changed that rule where in the playoffs, if a game goes to overtime, both teams actually have a chance to possess the ball.
Yeah.
As opposed to in the regular season, if that first team scores a touchdown, that's the game.
Right.
And so they changed that rule after the Bills-Chiefs game, because we were like, that's ridiculous. It's the playoffs, and we didn't even get a chance to score.
Right. You should have the opportunity.
Yeah, we should play the full 10-minute quarter.
Yep.
Or 10-minute half or whatever it is. And so that rule changed. I think after this season, the NFL is going to get into their meeting room, and they're going to be like, we need to review penalties.
Yeah.
Penalties that are 15 yards need to be reviewable.
Yeah.
They need to look at a camera and go, actually, no, pick up your flag. You're an idiot. That's not what happened.
Yep.
There was no penalty there. It's ridiculous.
I think that there should be just like automatic reviews, just like in I guess not in tennis, they don't do it either, but like they have the camera obviously right there.
Yeah.
Why not use if it means the game goes on for 30 more minutes?
I'm fine with that.
Boo-hoo. Yeah. I'll watch more football. I don't care. Pull that instant replay every single time. Oh, gosh. Just because it's like, if the camera's there and the technology's there, why not use it?
Yeah.
Why not use it and prove that line was crossed or not?
Yeah, like if you're going to show me 7 different angles of the same penalty, then use it when it's not a penalty.
Because especially, oh my God, one of my biggest pet peeves is watching football and hearing the commentators see like, oh wow, yeah, that's obviously
not.
That's obvious. He does not have control of it. You see it from every single angle, and they don't replay it.
Yeah.
And you're just like, there's 13 different angles. The commentators are saying it.
Yep.
There's gotta be, like, it blows my mind that they would let that just fly instead of like, you don't have to sit there and have an instant replay. Just have someone constantly seeing every single play.
Yep.
I don't know. Again, if it prolongs the game, it sucks. But then it takes away from like ready up defense or off defense, ready up offenses, being able to quick play.
Absolutely, yeah.
So it would change the game.
But it's also just necessary at this point. Like they've cracked down so much on like how much you can touch the quarterback. At this rate, you can barely breathe on any of them.
Right.
It's not just Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
A lot of those calls are like, let him take a hit.
Right.
Like, it's fine. He's a runner at that point.
I like the protecting the quarterback.
It is absolutely, like, it's for safety. I get that.
But
should we be spear tackling somebody? Probably not.
Right.
But
Right.
at the same point, like if they're going to run the ball, and this is why we hold our breath when Josh Allen runs the ball,
Right.
we expect him to get fucking murdered on the field.
Right. Right.
So like, I get it.
yeah. No,
But
it's
like
tough.
it's like if you're gonna go to those lengths just for the quarterback, go to those lengths
For
and
plays.
create these rules for everything, right?
Yep,
Like
for all the
crack down
players.
on the penalties, crack down on the players, crack down on everything.
Right. Right.
And involve more computers and stop
Mm-hmm.
using old man eyes.
mm-hmm.
Unless all these dudes just got LASIK and fresh eyeballs, I don't trust them.
cyborgs out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but going back, in a few weeks, we could have a very interesting episode,
We very well could.
which would be really, really fun to
Yeah.
talk about. If it is, Lord, please, the Commanders.
Commanders Bills would be an interesting because
That'd
the
be-
last time we played Washington in the Super Bowl
When,
was 1991.
our Super Bowl. Oh, yeah, that'd be a really good
Yeah.
rematch.
That was our second Super Bowl and our second loss.
Damn,
against-
yeah, that
against
was the
Washington.
last time we won.
Yeah.
Or like, was that the last time we even went to the Super Bowl?
I don't know.
I
but
think that might have been the last time we've even
it very
went.
well could be.
Man, you lost to the Redskins. That's tough. But now the Commanders are doing
Yeah.
so well. Yeah, we'll see.
Shockingly
how it
well.
goes. Shockingly, we shouldn't win. I don't
Yeah.
think we deserve to win.
Beating the Lions.
Crazy game.
Crazy.
Did you see that game? What a good football
Crazy.
game.
Yeah.
The Lions played bad. They had too many
Yeah.
turnovers.
Yeah.
Both teams did not have a defense.
Yeah.
So it was
I will
really
tell you
just-
right now, though, if your team beats the Eagles this coming weekend, I will be actually afraid to play them.
We should beat. If we can beat the Eagles and the way we play, if we play how we did
Oh, if you beat
against
the Eagles,
Lions,
you'll beat us.
we should beat you guys.
Yeah.
The Chiefs, I'd be a little bit more concerned about, but I think we could
See,
stand a
I'm
chance.
less concerned about the Chiefs than I was the Ravens. The Ravens game that we just played, I was
Yeah,
terrified
I didn't.
for.
I
was
thought the Ravens.
We were the
gonna win.
underdogs at home.
Yeah, I thought the Ravens were going to beat you.
Oh, I absolutely thought that. And I was terrified. And like now going to the Chiefs, like yes, it's a home game for them, away game for us,
Mm-hmm.
and it's also the Chiefs, and we've lost them every single time in the playoffs. But like we already beat them this season.
Right.
I'm like super not concerned for this game
Plus,
after playing the Ravens.
I feel like you guys have like a fire lit under your ass. Like you're amped right
we
now.
want it so
you guys
bad.
want this.
So
I
bad.
think you might do okay. Being a home game is gonna be hard, but I think you guys might be able to pull through.
I think so.
We'll see. We'll see what happens with
To be honest, though, I
side.
think I'd rather play you than the Commander or than the
the Eagles. I think, yeah. I think you'd stand a better chance against us than the
because like
Eagles.
Saquon Barkley is something else.
Woo!
Yeah, man's a
Killing
man's
it.
a
The Eagles are
rocket.
great. I think, I know you're a Bills fans.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think the Eagles could deserve a win. Could deserve a Super Bowl win.
Yeah, see, but if they play us, it needs to be us that wins. If they play the
Right.
Chiefs, then it needs to be the Eagles that win.
Right.
But I also
right.
don't want another Chiefs-Eagles Super Bowl. If we get that,
Yeah. Oh,
trash,
ah,
trash.
it'll be good though. I might go to Philly for it if we play him.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I won't go to the game.
Oh, okay.
But it will be in Philly,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
or not in Philly, but like it will be crazy in Philly.
yeah,
You know.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I might try and go, but we'll see.
Well, we'll see.
I don't know.
But trivia?
yeah, let's
You got
watch
anything
trivia.
else though?
No,
Okay.
not really.
Okay, trivia. Pick a number.
Let's go with 68. All right, we'll go with 14.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Mary Lou Retton won 5 medals in what sport at the 1984 Summer Olympics? Mary Lou Retton. I know that name.
I know that name too.
Mary Lou Retton. Summer Olympics.
It's gotta be bobsled.
Yeah, gotta be.
For the summer,
Mary Lou Retton.
I gotta think.
Five. What does it say? It adds. Mary Lou Retton won 5 medals in what sport at the 1984 Summer Olympics? What do you win 5 medals
Damn,
in?
wait, yeah, that changes my pick. I just realized.
5 medals. Oh, it's gotta be.
Um,
I'm locked in.
Yeah, I'm
My
finished.
confidence is low, but I'm locked in.
All right.
I said track.
I said gymnastics.
That's both good answers.
Damn, track would have been good too. I didn't even think about.
Gymnastics.
Because I was thinking about
I was also
multiple.
thinking gymnastics, but I was like, is there 5 events?
But like, think about track stars. They have like normally one event for the Olympics. They're not gonna go and
Well,
do 7 different races.
some of them do.
Some of them do, but normally at that level, they're just like.
See, I didn't want to be sexist and say it's a girl gymnastics, but
Oh well, I picked tennis at first, and I was like, damn, singles and doubles. That's all.
Yeah.
That's it. And then I thought swimming, and I was like,
that
but
would've been a good guess,
five different medals is a lot.
Yeah, it
I can
is.
see 2 to 3, but 5 is a lot for one. So then I did gymnastics because I realized there's a ton of
so
different.
you're
events.
leading 4-2.
Let's fucking go.
Where can people find you?
People can find me on my Instagram. That's lou.mcdonald, L2U's.mcdonald. And no longer can find me on TikTok. Sorry, guys.
Nope. All gone. At least you are.
Yeah, I guess that's fine. And my eat of the week, I finally went to Celebration for the first time
Love it.
since moving here and had the Town Tavern. Holy cow.
What'd you get?
I got the grilled chicken.
Yeah.
Just grilled chicken with mashed potatoes and fries. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. You like seafood?
I don't.
Ugh.
But the
They
person
got a buffalo lobster dip.
really
It's like the greatest thing I've ever had.
the person I went with got the mac and cheese, lobster mac and cheese,
Yeah.
and it looked just phenomenal with the
Yeah.
tail too.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah,
Their
that
food
was
is so
good.
good.
I would 1000% go back a
Yeah.
bajillion times.
Yeah.
It was so rich, so fresh. Delish.
Yep.
Where can they find you?
You can follow me on my photography Instagram, Sharky_photography. My regular Instagram at Secret Agent Sharky. My eat of the week is tough.
Can't top mine.
No, does not top yours. I gotta be honest.
Mr. No Water over here.
Yeah, I
cook.
know. Gotta be honest. I have to go once again with the gumbo. I know I said gumbo. I think last week or the week
yeah,
before.
but you
But
let
I
it
made
carry
gumbo
over.
again
Dang.
because it was
good.
just so good. At this time, I made it a little differently. I used hot sausage, so it had a little bit more
Okay.
spice.
Yeah.
And just so
Delish.
so good.
Delish.
I love gumbo. Like I can't even explain how much I love gumbo.
That's crazy behavior.
And with how like cold it's been lately,
Yeah, it's true. It is.
Ugh,
It is
gumbo
cold
just
right now. That
hits.
a nice warm soup like
Yeah.
that or thing.
yeah, gumbo hits hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad.
As for the podcast, you can follow us on Twitter at CSGPod. That is CSGPOD. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram at the Shuffle_pod. Sorry, on TikTok at the Shuffle Podcast and on Instagram at the Shuffle_podcast to watch our clips and our reels. And subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all at the Shuffle Podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. We will talk to you guys next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye, y'all.